I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned into another live edition of the Locker Room Daily Report, or TLDR for short. It's your daily dose of me, Chris Pirillo, and I'm going to be geeking out over the next little while with my patrons live, and you're only seeing just a part of the live TLDR broadcast, but you can get access to all of this and a whole bunch more as a bonus by heading over to chrispirillo.com and signing up right now to become a patron, just like a new patron back here. I believe the Heart of 8-Bit. Is that the person's username? I wanted to say that username correctly, but he or she may be popping up in chat here any moment now. You may have heard Jedi just go, ah! She loves this time of day because that's when Daddy geeks out. Today, I'm going to be talking about Daredevil Season 2 and my initial reactions. Jedi, if you want to join me, you can, but you will not be watching Daredevil for probably another 16 years. Because it is definitely graphic. Okay, so after that, I'm going to be doing today's Pirillo Picks. After Pirillo Picks, then I'm going to be answering questions and interacting and talking about the news with my patrons. And again, you can sign up at chrispirillo.com. I watched Daredevil Season 1, binged it, though I gotta tell you, and you might remember my reactions to Marvel's Jessica Jones, I liked Jessica Jones, the first season of Jessica Jones at least, that's what's been released to this point, more than Daredevil Season 1. And even though Jessica Jones was very graphic, I still enjoyed Jessica Jones more than Daredevil Season 1. But Season 2 of Daredevil has already, and I'm only, I think, 9 or 10 episodes in. There's 13 episodes total, at least that I saw on Netflix. And yes, by the way, I'm on the Netflix stream team, which is awesome. I have to throw that out there. I mean, it's not that it's a big deal. I don't get, much more than sometimes an advanced peek at some of the shows. I waited until Daredevil was public for all before I watched it. I didn't want to issue any spoilers out there. But even watching 2 episodes into Season 2, it had topped Season 1 by far. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm saying this today on a Tuesday because a new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is airing tonight, one of my favorite parts of the MCU. Sometimes you have to suffer through the first season to get to the second season. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really didn't get me hooked until it rolled into the second season, and that's my favorite part now. Daredevil, I gotta tell you, 2 episodes in, I felt this way, because I only planned on, I think it was Friday night, watching just 2 episodes of Daredevil in Season 2, and I ended up watching 4 episodes, and I had to stop because I was really tired. It was time for bed. So, my initial reaction was like, wow, this is so much better than Season 1. So much better. And that was just 2 episodes in. That was my first reaction. I'm now I've rolled into I'm more than halfway through. Like I said, I'm episode 9 or 10. I think I'm going to start 10 tonight. And may even finish Daredevil tonight in 2 or 3 sittings. It's the great thing about Netflix. One of the reasons I love binging on shows, and it's very difficult to watch a show that you can't binge on anymore. Maybe networks will be able to, catch on that, we like digesting our content by binging. Great pacing. Unlike my videos, I would say that part of what's kept me watching or wanting to watch one episode and rolling into the next is not only do you have a really good, a solid cliffhanger at the end of each episode, or enough of those episodes, but the pacing. It never feels like, oh, I gotta stop. I'm done. This is really boring. And I gotta tell you, Daredevil Season 1, it was okay. I wasn't really enthralled with Daredevil Season 1, but you kind of have to suffer through Season 1 sometimes to get to Season 2. And even Jessica Jones took me about halfway through the first season, the only season that's been released, before I really felt like I was really enjoying the show, despite it being pretty graphic. And I'm not a fan of graphic violence at all. And I pushed through it because that's a part of the whole experience. But Daredevil Season 2 is better than Marvel's Jessica Jones, or what is it, AKA Jessica Jones. I'm finding Season 2 better than Jessica Jones. Season 2 Daredevil. But, Season 2 of Jessica Jones is coming up soon. Not that you can compare, effectively. Still is the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the pacing is such that I don't feel like it's just I'm trudging through something. And that, to me, destroys the velocity of a show. And so if you ever felt that with Daredevil Season 1, it kind of got slow, I will admit, it felt slow for me. Season 2 is fantastically better, and I'm not the only person to believe that. We'll see how it ends up. I don't want to, share any spoilers at all, because I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to talk about specifics because some people haven't even started. But if you started Daredevil, I will tell you, Daredevil Season 1 couldn't make it through to get to Season 2. Trust me on this. Same way with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Give it another shot. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is so much better than what you could expect it to be if you couldn't find yourself getting attached to it. My favorite part of the MCU. I think it's better than half of the MCU movies, if not all of the MCU movies. The Avengers, Captain America, and the like. I'm not slagging them. I'm just saying that I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. more. What can I say? Apart from even with this big iPad Pro screen, I can't touch the play button. This little tiny 4-pixel button down there in the corner. I got to make sure some of my patrons do get the credit that they deserve. The third reaction I've had, and these are thoughts as I'm watching and realizing that I'm kind of getting lost in things, which is largely due to pacing. Character evolution is natural. Like, I get excited. I'm like, this makes sense. The evolution of where this character is going or their role in the grand scheme of things. I have a better appreciation for Daredevil's character, Matthew Murdock's character, more so in Season 2, not having, watched Season 1 for months and months and months. I just felt that I understand motivations of Daredevil more in this season, or Foggy, or Karen, or any of the characters. And like I said, it's largely because of the setup that we've experienced with Season 1. So the character evolution is believable. I feel I understand the characters more. The pacing is, it may not always be, snap, 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 but it moves. It moves such that when I sit down to effectively watch 2 episodes, I find myself watching 4 or more. So I may very well be wrapping up Daredevil tonight. If not tonight, then potentially tomorrow. But I will be watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. first, and a new episode of Star Wars Rebels is on tonight as well, I believe. Corey Moore says, I think you should give Supergirl another chance. It's gotten better throughout the season. So, my parents, by the way, you've met them. They recently gave a review of their newer iPhones in the channel. They like Supergirl. They do. Dad loves Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just like me, and he likes Supergirl. So I may give it another stab if I can binge on it. That's honestly, I will tell you, I've been spoiled by the Netflix style of digesting content. I like, looking forward to something new every week, potentially, until there's nothing new to look forward to. But there's just something to be said about not having to stress out about being able to watch or not being able to watch an episode because they pull it off the air, or they pull it out of the app. I just, honestly, it's asinine, I will say. Any channel or production studio, content provider that does that is doing their user base a disservice. I think Netflix is the way to go. Or that style of watching. So if I can't watch all of the season of Supergirl in an app, simplicity, ruling supreme, just boom, 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 in a subscription model, I'm not interested. I'm going to be flat out honest with you. Oh, what? Now I can't watch episode 4? Or I have to buy it for $4? I don't think so. I'm done. I'm serious. There's enough great content out there that if I can't binge on something, I'm just not going to bother anymore. Sorry, not sorry. That's the way it is. I want to binge. Love binging. Not the purging so much. I generally, if I take something in, I don't want to expel it. That's my feel on that. So I've pretty much said everything I wanted to say about Daredevil Season 2. Tell me, am I alone? I don't have any Daredevil merchandise. Not that I, am really pulled into a lot of MCU merch. But I don't have a Daredevil shirt or a cap or anything like that. This is from the Smuggler's Bounty unboxing, Muff Tack. By the way, I'm still looking for the Blue Snaggletooth Pop. Not related to Daredevil at all. As well as a Momane Dawn shirt that's styled like this. That's the other one that I want. Everyone else got Han Solo. That's the one I didn't want as much. So, I've said everything I needed to say. I'm going to move on to Pirillo picks, which may or may not be superhero related. May or may not be from the DC multiverse or the MCU. We shall see. I already know. I have the answer to that question. Patrons are about to find out. Everybody else has got to wait for the next video. You can tune into the rest of TLDR. We got plenty of geeking out to do, but usually most of that is reserved for the patrons. You can sign up to become a patron by heading over to chrispirillo.com. Today's free podcast highlight was brought to you by all of my active patrons from chrispirillo.com. If you want access to the full TLDR episodes, both audio, video, past, present, and future, which can be up to an hour long or longer, with even more tech insight from me every weekday, plus other bonus content without ads, and support me at the same time, you can sign up to become one of my supernomies too. This is just a brief taste of what I'm producing for you daily. Again, get more through chrispirillo.com.